This video explains how to add p-values to a correlation matrix plot using the R programming language. So without too much talk, let's dive into the R code. In this video I will show you several examples, and for all of these examples we need to create a data frame first, as you can see in lines 2 to 7 of the code. So after running these lines of code, a new data set called data is appearing at the top right, and we can print the first 6 rows of this data frame to the bottom in the RStudio console by running line 8 of the code. And then you can see at the bottom that we have created a data frame containing 4 columns, which are called x1, x2, x3 and x4. And all of these columns contain random numeric values. Now, if we want to calculate the correlation matrix for these columns, we can use the corr function, as you can see in line 10 of the code. So after running this line of code, a new matrix object called corrmat is appearing at the top right, and we can print this correlation matrix to the bottom in the RStudio console by running line 11 of the code. And then you can see that we have created a correlation matrix of our 4 columns. So for instance, the correlation between the columns x2 and x1 is equal to 0.28. Now, if we want to calculate the p-values for this correlation matrix, we first need to install and load the psych package, as you can see in lines 13 and 14 of the code. I have installed this package already, so for that reason I'm just going to load it with line 14 of the code. And then in the next step we can use the corr.test function, and we can apply this function to our data set, and then we can use the dollar operator to extract the p-values from our correlations. And in this case I'm storing the p-values in a new matrix object that I'm calling corr.test met. So if you run line 16 of the code, this matrix is appearing at the top right, and we can print this matrix to the bottom in the RStudio console by running line 17 of the code. And then you can see that we have created another matrix which contains the p-values that correspond to the correlations of our correlation matrix. Now, if we want to draw our data as a correlation matrix plot, we first need to install and load the corrplot package, as you can see in lines 19 and 20 of the code. I have installed this package as well, so for that reason I'm just going to load it with line 20 of the code. And after running this line of code, we can use the corrplot function, as you can see in line 22. So after running this line of code, a new graphic is appearing at the bottom right. And as you can see, this graphic is visualizing the correlations between our columns. So the larger a correlation is, the larger is the circle. So for instance, the correlation between the columns x1 and x3 is larger than the correlation between the columns x1 and x2. However, in this plot we have not added any p-values yet. And we can do that, as you can see in the next step in lines 24 to 26. So once again I'm using the corrplot function. I'm applying this function to our correlation matrix. However, then in addition to that I'm specifying the p.met argument to be equal to our matrix that contains the p-values. And I'm specifying the insig argument to be equal to p-value. So if you run lines 24 to 26 of the code, you can see at the bottom right of RStudio that our correlation matrix plot is updated. And as you can see, all the non-significant correlations are represented by their p-values. So as you can see, only values above the threshold of 0.05 are shown. So in this first example, I have explained how to add p-values to a regular correlation matrix plot. However, it's also possible to visualize that based on the ggplot2 package. And for this, we first need to install and load the ggcorrplot package, as you can see in lines 28 and 29. I have installed this package already, so for that reason, I'm just going to load it with line 29 of the code. And then in the next step, we can draw a correlation matrix plot with this typical ggplot2 style without p-values by simply applying the ggcorrplot function to our correlation matrix. So if you run line 31 of the code, you can see at the bottom right that our ggplot2 correlation matrix plot is appearing without p-values. And then in the next step, we can add those p-values by specifying the p.met argument within the ggcorrplot function. And as in the previous example, I'm setting this argument to be equal to our matrix of p-values. So if you run lines 33 to 34 of the code, our plot is recreated. And as you can see in this case, the p-values are not shown by their numbers, but by axes in the graphic. That's all I wanted to explain in this video. In case you want to learn more on this topic, you may check out my homepage statisticsglobe.com, because on my homepage I have recently published a tutorial in which I'm explaining the content of this video in some more detail. I will put a link to this tutorial into the description of the video so you can find it there. If you have liked this video or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below. I'll try to respond to all comments as soon as I can. Furthermore, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get notified about future video releases. I have already published about 500 videos on this channel and I'm releasing new videos on a daily basis. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next video.